We are here. This has been distraction action, the time period. Assembly is definitely on TCW and Benny's side right now.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
I am here with Zip TNF. We are in round one, game one of the tournament right now. We're watching Wildcatterrry. I gotta make sure that I get that right.
Wildcatterrry?
Catterry. He
Catterry.
prefers to go by Catterry.
Oh, so he's a Wildcat, like UK Wildcats maybe.
Yeah.
University of Kentucky. So Wildcatterry and Bigmangriff.
Yes.
So let's see. We got both Shadow Heroes out. We got Malfurion and the Lyra. Or not? No, actually, this is not the Shadow Hero. That's the what's the name of her?
Starts with an M. I want to say.
Yeah. You know, I honestly don't. I don't see him too much. Back in the Ungoro meta, I remember when a lot of people would play Quest Rogue with why do I not know what this guy's name is? I'll look it up for us while we finish commentating on the game. I will say that the Rogue has a very interesting couple of cards in his hand. He's got an Ironbark Protector. And he's also got an Ancient Brewmaster. Yeah. So the Brewmaster makes sense because it's a rogue, you like to bounce stuff, but the Ironbark Protector, I think he must have gotten this from the Pirate. Yeah. We're kind of diving in a little bit halfway through this game, but I think that he might have gotten this from the Swashbuckler. I think so too. In the very beginning of the game. So I'm sure that he's not going to have a very good opportunity to play this anytime soon. I think if I'm the Rogue, if I'm Bigmangriff, I'm going to want to get the Flappy Bird out, the Vicious Legend, as soon as possible. But right now, it looks like Wildcatterry has a reasonably nice board presence here.
I think you also want to try and get board control before you can try and throw out a contesting Flappy Bird.
Yeah. I think maybe with the Dread Corsair here and the Pirate package, he might be able to. To go on and get that out now. He might have to go on and sack his Scalebane here, but I think. Oh, so he's going to Shadow Step the Scalebane. Okay,
that's smart. He's going to Shadow Step the Scalebane, and then he can cast it this turn because it goes down to 3. Mm-hmm. He can't trade into the 1/5, but he's really thinking about it. Yeah, he's just going to trade it.
So the popular Rogue deck currently is the Tempo Rogue, and from what I can tell, he's got the normal Pirate package, and from what I would imagine, I don't think he's drawn Prince Keliseth yet. That's a very important card in the matchup. You want to get it on turn 2 if possible, just so that you can go on and buff your whole deck. True. And a lot of times people save the Shadow Step for Prince Keliseth.
Oh, that's hilarious! Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a double Shadow Step, and you can give 2 buffs to your whole deck, or 3 buffs actually. Dirty rat!
Oh wait, he wouldn't trigger because Bronze 4 mana. Is Prince Keliseth check for 4 mana creatures, or?
He's a 2 mana card.
Yeah, so, but you have to not have any cards of a certain mana cost. Was it 4? I think it was.
2. You can't have any. He has to be the only 2-drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly.
imagine if you had like Braun.
So the interesting thing about these Rogue decks is that they run a lot of really high quality cards. The Pirate package is very strong. And one of the interesting things about having Rogue in specific is that they have the legendary hero in the classic set.
True.
Why is his name escaping me?
In case you were wondering, though, I still had to put down
the Rogue's legendary card.
Yes.
For their hero. Answer Van Cleef.
Van Cleef, that's right.
Van Cleef.
Yeah. I think that having Van Cleef with an extra buff, it just makes it that much easier to combo that type of stuff, especially if you have Shadow Step in your hand and you get to you get to pull off those cool combos with Keleseth.
What? They can report it to me. It's probably easier to report it to you.
Man, I'm good at English.
Okay.
How do you handle DQ?
It's the same thing as Smash. 5 minutes. They lose round 1.
No, I'm good. You have to go and press the
Yeah, same thing. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm gonna make a final call for this person.
Okay, no problem. I'll go on and finish out commentating the game here. Bone Mare comes down. I don't know. I didn't get to see what turn that was played. If that just came down or what happened here. Captain Greenskin is very interesting. That is very interesting, especially that he has the Ancient Brewmaster and the Shadow Step. He could double buff his weapon here. That might be something that I would go ahead and do, just because that's so much value. You get a 3/4 weapon and the buff. So very, very, very strong stuff. And he gets the buff from the South Sea Captain. Now let's see what's in the Druid's hand here. Actually, is it possible to show the opponent's hand?
Yeah, it's supposed to. The way we're spectating right now, it's supposed to flip the cards around and let us view it. I don't know why it's not letting us do that right now.
That's it. And also, when you hover over cards, it's not showing the larger version, especially or the ones on the board.
Yeah.
So maybe we want to re-enter the spectator mode.
Yeah, re-enter the spectator. I'm gonna do that real fast.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Here, you want this.
All
right. Let's see. So he pandas the Bone Mare. Let's see if we can go back in here properly. Now the interesting thing about the way that this app was coded is that the Tavern Brawl or the Tavern. The Fireside Gathering, sorry, not the Tavern Brawl. The Fireside Gathering actually has everybody in like a little local network. So it should be able to... Alright, so it's working now. Alright, great. This makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, so now we can actually see the card text and know what things do. So.
Gunning for Carinol right now.
Okay.
Oh, so it looks like Wildcatterrry surrendered the first match.
Yeah, looks like Bone Mare was going to come back down, and that's just so much value for the Rogue. A lot of decks are running Bone Mare now. Very strong card, especially that it's in a neutral.
It's a neutral. Yeah.
So any class can use it, and that just makes it even more powerful. A lot of decks like that late game presence, especially if you have board already. Bone Mare comes down, and it's just almost like it's so hard to deal with unless you're like a warrior, somebody who has access to a lot of removal.
It's super undervalued as a card. When we saw Knights of the Frozen Throne release, there was tons of people like making a big fuss about the card, and there's some people like Brian Kibler who is just like, I don't think the card's good. It's definitely good, but I don't think it's that great. And like we see tons of decks now running it. And it's like it's weird to see such a neutral staple common essentially like in the meta.
Yeah, we haven't seen that really since Dr. Boom, especially talking about late game. And Dr. Boom was so powerful, but now in Wild, Dr. Boom almost is hardly ever seen. Synergy is king now, and that's what decks are really based around, is just pure synergy. So we got a Mage Mirror here. Interesting to note that neither of these are the Quest Mage. The Quest Mage, we're looking for a one-turn kill to line up all of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And play Time Warp, and then you play Antonidas, and then you burst their face down with fireballs. But since it's a Mage Mirror, that would actually be pretty interesting, because there would be no way to really guarantee lethal, because Ice Block is a card still.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna go change the round matchup.
Round. Yeah, sure. Let's change it to game 2 here. This is game 2. And Wildcatterrry is ahead in the series, 1-0 right now. So we're going to see if Bigmangriff can turn this around here. Okay, looks like we have two pretty standard secret variety mages. Something to note here would maybe be that Wildcatterry is running an elemental version of the deck here. So if he gets to play Frostlich Jaina, which I would assume that both of these players are running, maybe less likely for Bigmangriff. I haven't seen their deck lists, but Wildcatterry is almost certainly, if you see that water elemental in his hand here, we would probably note that Frostlich Jaina is definitely in Wildcatterry's deck. So when that comes down, it is a 9-mana card. That is a big impact card. We'll be looking to see if that's a, that's a win condition there.
Do you see a lot of mages run Frost Queen Jaina? Because I know, like,
Frostlich Jaina?
Yeah, Frostlich Jaina. I don't think that's much of like a tempo card. If this is like tempo mage, it could be control mage. Who knows?
Yeah, it's almost certainly a control mage card, but in general, I think the meta pretty much just has control mage and secret mage. Secret mage in particular would probably be one of those decks that really just relies on a lot of tempo. You play some of the cards that get your secrets out for free, and then you play like Crystal Runner and that type of thing. You get a lot of board. But what we can see here is we can definitely see the Doomsayer combo here. He's going to go on and drop Frost Nova, and we'll see that there will be not much for Big Man to play from a board perspective. I think if I'm Bigmangriff, I'm going to want to play Kabbalist Tome here, or maybe one of your secrets.
Can he?
Okay.
I don't think he can kill the.
I think Bigmangriff misplayed. I think he thought that he thought he had 6 mana and could ping.
That's fair.
Yeah, you gotta pay close attention to your mana. Yeah. Looks like Bigmangriff.
There it is. Yeah, he realizes it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Those things happen. I played it a weekly.
This game is not ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played a weekly just a couple, about a month or two ago that we hosted, and I'm allowed to compete in those. So I actually got second in it, but I made like quite a few misplays. So it happens.
So I think an important thing to note with Wildcatterry's previous play, when he dropped the Doomsayer first. Now that's an interesting thing because he was testing for Mirror Entity.
Yes.
He wanted to know if Mirror Entity was the secret, and that was not the secret. He also, I think he was probably crossing his fingers hoping that Counterspell was also not a thing. Okay, Bigmangriff getting the ice block up here.
To be fair, if he counterspelled the Frost Nova, I don't think it was too bad. Bigmangriff definitely would have had a lot bigger, like, he would have had a lot more pressure with swinging 3 into the face and being able to fireball face.
So what a great interaction we have here. Spellbender is not really often seen. So seeing Spellbender come out, that's I think he really wanted to polymorph that Doomsayer so that he could keep his water elemental on. But we're seeing that's now not the case. Okay, so I think if I'm Bigmangriff, I'd maybe go on and try to put at least one secret out this turn.
True.
Maybe he wants to go on and get some random spells, which I think maybe he sees that he probably has time to get some of these secrets developed. So he actually goes for the face damage here. Very interesting.
So is this... I haven't seen Wildcatterry run any doubles yet. Do you think this could be like a rogue like Highlander?
Yeah, with Kazakus.
Yeah, with Kazakus and the maybe the mage one.
That's a definite possibility. So Inkmaster Solia is the card that is required on that front. It's interesting that Bigmangriff runs Kabbalist Tome here. because since this is not a quest mage,
Yes.
we're not going to see any of that time warp shenanigans.
Yes.
But we will see some random spells here. Doesn't look like he gets very, very much use here. Breath of Syndragosa, not a very good pickup here. He also has the Potion of Polymorph, which is another interesting card. Maybe he can go on and bait out this Skulking Geist here. If he does that, then that Skulking Geist will be a 1/1. Servant of Kalimos, since we know this is an elemental mage, now he can discover a new elemental.
Shimmering Tempest here, okay. Maybe Water Elemental would be a better pickup, but
I think he's really just looking for that value from a random spell.
Yeah.
That's such a good Swiss Army knife almost.
Exactly.
Of really anything.
Maybe
I think Bigmangriff probably wishes he could say the same, getting good value out of random spells.
He also got a Breath of Syndragosa.
Yeah.
Like 3 random Breath of Syndragosa this game.
Oh my gosh. That is something else. RNGesus wants them to play Breath of Syndragosa, apparently.
No paddling book mechanics today, apparently.
Yeah, we don't get any super strong spells coming down here. Now this is very good at removing this the Kirin Tor Mage
with the Breath of Syndragosa and the hero power.
That's actually pretty good for Wildcatterrry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here comes Frostlich Jaina.
Jaina.
I'd imagine that Wildcatterry is going to wish that he had his, but that's the play here. I think.
I think this spending a turn to develop just Frostlich Jaina is just right here while there's no board presence.
Too good.
It's a great play.
It's way too good, and partially because you get a free water elemental with lifesteal.
Yes, yeah.
I think if that aspect wasn't there, this card would be way overcosted at 9.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right. All the other heroes have such a big defining mechanic when they hit the board.
Oh wow! Here comes the Skulking Geist. Very interesting. So we see that. I didn't actually get a chance to look at how many cards were destroyed.
Oh, you can hover over Skulking Geist and it'll tell you over here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Really? So just for Breath of Syndragosa. Yeah. So not too much value from Wildcatterry there, but
Did you get rid of the 2 random spells?
Too bad. Yeah. I think he was probably surprised seeing 2 cards disappear from Bigmangriff's hand.
Yeah. Seeing him play that the Arcane Glyph into the counter spell really sucks. I think he'd rather play a Potion of Polymorph, considering this is a control mage, and he's just going to play dinky little things that'll make him draw some little, and maybe Arcane Glyph was the card that he actually wanted to not counterspell, but...
What we're going to probably see from Bigmangriff is we're going to want to see him try to push as much face damage as possible. Wildcatterry does not have a secret up like Ice Block. Ice Block would be very useful right now for Wildcatterry, especially because Bigmangriff has that Pyroblast in his hand.
Now, I don't know about that Frost Nova so much. Probably would have just Volcanic Potioned it off the board, if anything. But
I'll tell you why he did that. He did that because he didn't want a good value play for Bigmangriff to play next turn. He'd be able to easily play that 6-mana 6/6.
You're right.
So right now he just wants to delay Pyros getting any value.
Yeah. And he does have a Polymorph in hand, so...
Maybe we might see that actually coming down next turn because we know that Pyros not only has lifesteal but has the death rattle effect to where we're getting sequential value here. We're gonna get a 6/6 that costs 6, and then after that it's a 10-mana 10/10.
Yeah.
So just something for Bigmangriff to play there.
Good baiting out the.
Definitely.
Looking out for Spellbind or Counterspell, either or.
A free Polymorph, I think, would be really good for Bigmangriff. Volcanic Potion, not so much. Not as good for sure. Frozen Clone, very interesting play on words.
This deck seems to be heavily teched against mid-range to aggro players.
Yeah.
We're just kind of not seeing that. We're seeing a control mirror, so he's got a lot of dead cards here.
And it looks like Bigmangriff is quite a bit ahead, actually. He's got 3 secrets up, and Frostlich Jaina, which is just so insane, and the Ice Block. So just a lot of A lot of really good value.
Wildcatterrry really wants to hold on to that polymorph. I don't know what else he'd want to polymorph that's in this deck other than Pyros. But Pyros is a 10/10 now, so like he's got.
And we see him drawing the Crystal Runner, Cabal Crystal Runner here. That's what I was mentioning earlier. So this is free now, a free 5/5 and a 10/10.
Wow.
So unfortunately for Bigmangriff, Wildcatterrry is going to love to polymorph that 10/10.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the right play. If he had polymorph in hand, he should have just polymorphed the Pyros when it was a 6/6 instead of investing a Fireball into it.
You know, I'll tell you, I agree with you, but also, you know, now Wildcatterrry knows that really those were his only options, and we now see a Cabal Lackey here, not what Bigmangriff wants to see, and he's going to be very sad when Wildcatterrry here plays his Frostlich Jaina.
Yeah, Cabal Lackey really not good in this matchup. Better in some aggro matchups or mid-range matchups where you get that secret out here for free. Yeah. Really bad late game where he has no secret in hand.
You want that way earlier than what he just got. Let's see. So Bigmangriff has 15 damage access right now that he could launch to the face, and that would be able to put Wildcatterrry down to 8.
Nice.
But he doesn't have much action after that.
Yeah.
Really not much stuff going on. We do see Wildcatterrry has the Blaze Caller, but he needs to draw an Elemental if he's going to get any value. He's not only got to draw the Elemental, but he's got to play it the previous turn. Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting caveat.
We're going to see him trade here?
Okay.
I think I would have traded into the 3/6 and then killed it with my hero power to get my own water elemental.
I completely agree. I think that Bigmangriff missed an opportunity to get a water elemental out of this. I think that's one of the things that you really want to do with this deck,
especially with this low of a life total. I guess he has does he have an ice block up? Is that one of his secrets?
Yes, he does have one ice block up, which is great.
But you still want the water elemental out there.
No other life gain. He doesn't have an ice barrier right now. Seeing the greater arcane missiles coming out now. Looks like Wildcatterrry knows that there are no spell-related secrets. And now here's the ice barrier. Okay, interesting. Still not much. Although, you know what? He's going to go on and probably ping his own Cabal Lackey.
That's a smart idea.
I think that is the correct solution.
Yes.
Because there's no way for Bigmangriff to stop this life gain right now.
See, I missed that interaction. Cabal Lackey into pinging it itself after getting his free secrets. Pretty nice. And kind of negates that card being so bad late game. Pinging, testing to see. Really, this is bad because he can just ping next turn and win. He has no way to survive here. I think Wildcatterrry just has this.
That's what it was. Yeah, this is really the only thing to do here. Just try to remove it and get you a new one. I think maybe he's hoping that he can bluff any kind of.
Well, he just pings here and wins. Yeah, unfortunately. Making me bluff. He already got the ice block out of the way, and he didn't play another secret.
Okay, so Wildcatterry takes it, and I think we see now that it's a 1-1 series.
Yeah, it is a 1-1 series.
Aha! There we go. We're in. Wow, Bigmangriff has a great curve. What a curve for Bigmangriff. He's able to play Kazakus on turn 4. The Arcanologist on turn 2. I don't think Bigmangriff could ask for a better start. The interesting thing we'll see here is Wildcatterry and how quickly he can get some of these tokens out. We see that he runs Firefly. A lot of druids now run the Mark of Lotus card just because there's so much value that you can get out of that. I think this is probably a token druid.
This is how it ends.
The Organol's just coming down for Bigmangriff. Let's see what he draws, and a nice counterspell here. We did remember seeing that Bigmangriff has the Inkmaster Solia. I don't think we confirmed that he had the card in his deck, but now we can confirm that he does indeed run Inkmaster Solia. The interesting thing will be seeing maybe if he can pick a very expensive Kazakus spell and then play this on turn 7 for free. That would be something very interesting to see if he'd like to wait until turn 7 to play a huge turn swing, tempo swing, I should say. Okay, down coming the. Let's see. Hold on. Let's have to see if we can fix this because it doesn't seem like it's showing the cards correctly again. Let's see if we can come back in. Wildcatterrry. We're diving back in here to see if we can't fix the card tooltips and yeah, not seeing. Yeah, spectating can be kind of a pain, but don't worry. Blizzard is an indie company. I'm sure maybe eventually they'll find the money and ability to make their product work more consistently. What I was going to talk about is the Skulking Geist, which we might see if this Druid runs the Mark of the Lotus. That would be some good value that Wildcatterrry would be missing out on. Let's see what Bigmangriff creates here, what kind of spell he creates with Kazakus. We got a 5-mana card here. Now these are not very good choices here. Typically you want damage and summoning. And this is not what Bigmangriff is looking for. It looks like he picked the armor there. And if I were him, I would pick the damage. It looks like he's picking the summoning, which is that's not actually a bad choice because, you know, in general, board presence in Hearthstone is so important, especially against a Druid. They don't have very much removal. I think Bigmangriff is kind of sad that he's missing out on some of the removal. One of the best aspects of Kazakus spells are being able to cast the spell for damage, maybe even AoE damage, and summoning some creatures. Okay, the Swipe comes down and gets real good value, knocking out the Kazakus and the Babbling Book. Bigmangriff has a lot of cards, though. A lot of tools. Okay, not really a whole lot for Bigmangriff to be doing here. And the counter spell comes down. So let's see if he can't counter something good.
Oh, another up there. This time from you.
Wildcatterrry probably going to go on and play the Wild Growth here, so that's actually one of the best things to counter here. You know, maybe we'd like to see if he could ramp into the Bog Creeper, and that would have been awfully nice. But Feral Rage is such a dynamic card, has so much choice that you can really you know, use to get you something good. And it doesn't really look like Wildcatterrry had anything destroyed. So to me, it doesn't look like it tells me he doesn't run Mark of the Lotus or Jade Idol, which is bad news for Bigmangriff. Looks like we have a typical ramp druid here. Still not a lot of board presence from Wildcatterrry. He's had these same cards out for almost the entire game. Wildcatterrry considering a crazed alchemist here. I don't know necessarily if that would be a good choice, considering he just went face. All right, now he's playing the slime instead of the mana crystal, just to get some more board presence. From what we can tell right now, there is no way really to buff his creatures. Yeah, now Wildcatterrry is very sad panda because the Flame Strike came down. Oh, we might be improving our hookup here. Getting the screen closer to me. Me and Ginger here.
Oh, yeah! Like, I'm ending this on my... It was basically good enough. It's like I'm making the decision here.
All right. We're looking a lot better here. All right, Stonehill Defender coming down for Wildcatterry here. He's got the Dark Arcacona here. If anybody is into Twitch emotes, Arcacona is a common Twitch meme, but it's the Dark Arakoa? Arakoa, perhaps.
It's just a big red button.
So now Jade Spirit comes down, and that's actually interesting. Maybe I didn't get the count correct here on the amount of cards in his deck, but perhaps the Jade Idols were destroyed.
Oh! He was high enough, but he wasn't close enough.
I'm getting a little echoey. I can hear myself and stuff, so I kind of like turned it down.
Yeah.
Or muted it.
I'll mute it, yeah. We don't need to hear it.
Right. All right. So let's see what Wildcatterry is going to do with the frozen board. Looks like he's going to develop the Feral Rage. And go on and just take out that demon from the Kazakus potion. I did confirm that Bigmangriff does run the Inkmaster Solia if the card tooltip would come back up, but it doesn't look like it's working again.
Weird.
Which is bizarre. But the, let's see.
All over the place.
Yeah, I don't understand why that happens. We should be able to get through the rest of the game without having to come back
Yeah,
in.
that's fine.
Yeah. Especially now that we can see the cards closer. We got the, we have our monitor closer
right
to us
in
now.
front of us,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is great.
So,
I don't know what secrets Bigmangriff has, unfortunately. We will find out.
you know, he has Inkmaster Solia and Pyroblast in hand, though. That's
Oh yeah, he's
spicy.
big time
Lots
10
of
damage.
damage.
But we also see that Wildcatterry has the ultimate infestation. When that comes down, we will definitely see some real strong card drawing power from Wildcatterry. No good targets for the ultimate infestation though. Maybe you just do it to his face. We see he draws the Malfurion, the Pestilent.
I think Ultimate Infestation's really risky with all the
All
he
the
has
secrets
out.
for sure. I think I completely agree there. So he tested for the Mirror Entity first with the Flame Elemental. We'll see him come down with the Malfurion. So that's some
huge board.
yeah.
But now they are hitting.
I do not think that this deck runs
one scenario.
Mark of the Lotus. I was talking about this on stream just a few minutes ago. Mark of the Lotus has been a good staple recently in Jade Druid, but since this doesn't really have a huge Jade package, it doesn't seem. Seems kind of like a ramp druid.
Is that what they put back in for instead of Innervate? They doing Jade, Mark of the Lotus, or they still want to
You know, it's seeming like a lot, since aggro druid is still a viable deck. I think that we're probably seeing Mark of the Lotus. And since Druid is so good at generating a lot of tokens anyway, especially with Malfurion the Pestilent and other card generating or other board presence generating tokens like the Mire Keeper, we'll see Mark of the Lotus as a more. And there's a card that could benefit from Mark of the Lotus, Spreading Plague. Not going to get any good value right now, though. Bigmangriff is going to need a much bigger board for that card to mean anything.
But
Bigmangriff still hasn't drawn a spell to go on and try to see if he can't proc one of the secrets. Which actually, you know what? He does have a Spellbender up. I do know that. He has a Spellbender up, which I think that Wildcatterrry is correct in playing around the spell, the counterspell. But the Spellbinder is not as big of a threat. You still get that 5-card draw, which is super insane, and the 5/5 body, and the armor. Whoever thought Ultimate Infestation was a good idea to print, I'd like to have a conversation with them. Yeah, I'd like to talk with them, see what they were thinking about.
Interesting thing I'm looking at here is if Wildcatterry's next draw is dead, he can actually play Spreading Plague to play around Counterspell, and it's not like his board's going to get any bigger like anytime soon without being control mage. So
yeah, it might not be a bad idea to go on and try to get Spreading Plague, although the Scalebane is drawn here, and that is so strong, it's just hard to pass up, honestly. We'll see if Wildcatterrry chooses to trade. He is going face. Smork's in the chat. Anybody has their Smork on?
I think he wanted to reverse
SMORC. We'll see a Kieran Tormage and a Spellbender. He can't cast Spellbender because he already has a Spellbender.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Something that we could possibly see play is him going on and just hitting the face of Wildcatterry. But this is just such a bad position for Bigmangriff. This Malfurion the Pestilent is causing some huge problems, especially the Scalebane. So many issues here. Looks like he's gonna probably
Blast a 1/1.
we'll see him play this Solia and the Pyroblast. The question is, does he want to Pyroblast the Scalebane?
I think that's the.
Okay, he Pyroblasts the Arcacona.
That's not
Arco.
quite the right thing to Pyroblast, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I think he should have saved his hero power to on the 4/1 so he could have ran it into the 4/1.
I agree with you. I think Bigmangriff made a major misplay here.
40% of his body.
Taking a lot of damage now.
A lot of damage.
And we see a Lich King come down here.
Oh yeah, we know that there's no mirror entity shenanigans going on, and we're seeing that. I think there's probably one ice block up here, so Bigmangriff has 2 turns to survive. But these turns are not very. Doesn't look good. That's for sure.
Still not loading. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Kirby's the shortest character.
I do believe it's an ice block and a Spellbender. Now he gets the mirror entity. So he chooses to play Pyros instead of hero powering the 7/1. Not that it really makes that big of a difference. I think Bigmangriff is still in a very compromising position here. He is not. It is not looking good. So I actually don't think he really cares about a ice barrier. Because he's got the Lich King and he can go on and just negate all that damage and pop the block anyways.
Right. Another reason why not to play Ultimate Infestation is like the big blowout could happen and he could have a mana bind right there instead of a Spellbender.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be insane.
You know, he'd be able to possibly draw some way to get another ice block out, but since it's popped now, I think we're not going to see much out of Bigmangriff here. It looks like he's pretty much done here. Play the Pyros just for shenanigans. Why not? We remember this is game 4, and Griff is up 2-1 here. But now it is a 2-2 series. I think, or is it 3? Did we get it wrong?
It's 3-1. Wildcatterrry
3-1.
just won, so it's 3-1.
3-1 now for, I do remember, Bigmangriff
Yes,
losing there.
won the first one and lost the
Okay.
second one, proceeding afterwards.